So we had some flax that didn't do real great, and we actually never had to cut it, which in a way was sort of a blessing with this drought here. But now we're going to turn some cattle into there. And one of the things you're supposed to watch for on flax is prussic acid, which I never would have guessed. You think that's more of a warm season grass thing. But we did find a thing on the internet that showed us that we can test for prussic acid in forages using this cytismo paper, which you guys can see here. Wendy's over here right now kind of grinding up the flax bowls. That's kind of the only green stuff left on there. We've had a pretty hard freeze, and so you would assume that this stuff probably would have gassed off by now. We're going to take this strip of paper, throw it in that Ziploc bag after we kind of rough that up a little bit. If this strip turns blue, that means there's prussic acid in there. If it turns dark blue in about 30 minutes, that means it's probably quite dangerous. So we're going to see if there's any left at all. This is just a sort of a comfort thing. It should be fine after it froze, but we'll put this little strip of this cytismo paper in there. We only need about a 4-inch strip of this. We're going to put it in that Ziploc bag and then let it sit in the air in there. And if there's any prussic acid, it should gas off now that this is warmed up and show up on our test strip. So we'll show you guys how it goes. So here's our roughed up flax sample. That broke those bowls open just to make sure we can get stuff to gas off like we would want it to. Normally this would be green forage we'd be doing this with, right? But this is just sort of a weird situation where we've got flax that wasn't harvested that we're going to try and graze on some. So the other thing with that, we're going to try and graze that by putting bales out all over in the field. That's a good Wendy idea. Space them way out in this 400-acre block and make the cows kind of go around to our bale graze spots and graze on this at the same time. Because I don't think we want them grazing just straight flax. I can't find anything on the internet about how that would work out. So Wendy's going to tear this paper off. We're going to tear off about a 4 or 5-inch strip. So you can see there. So you're going to put it in this bag, and then in about 30 minutes, we'll show you what the results were. Well, our 30 minutes went by. We finished our test up here. The strip was in the bag, of course, but I just pulled it out of the bag. And this actually has been about 45 minutes now. At 30 minutes, it hadn't turned blue at all. There is a little bit of blue on this paper, but as you'll see in the video that's going to be attached to this, if you look in the comments here, that stuff needs to turn pretty dark blue within the 30 minutes to be pretty high risk. So this would be very marginal if no risk. But interestingly enough, it did turn a little bit of color there. So there is probably a little hint of prussic acid even left in there after these 2 freezes. So like I said, if you look at the comments in this video, there's another YouTube video I'll link to this that shows you kind of how to do the test in more detail. But I just thought that was interesting information that we can get this cytismo paper and actually test this stuff. So cover crops, that's a big deal. So if you guys are doing millet or sorghum, if it's drought stressed or if it freezes on it, this would be a good way to do a test on that before you go in and graze.